Bullet Podcast with Alexander Rosenthal-Rashi and Josh Kenny. It's shenanigans time!
Yo, what's up, my internet friends? Welcome to episode 2 of Middle-Aged Men Who Yell at Clouds. My name is Alex, also known as Bear Blackspear. You can find me on youtube.com/Bear Blackspear. And we're here with Not Another Boo Hurt Podcast, episode 2, Rules, Regulations, and Reffing. And I'm here with my broadcast partner, Josh. Josh, what's up?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm good. So today we're here to talk about everything rules. And before we get into it, how you been? What's new on your front since your retirement?
Just really, relaxing. Everything's good at the gym. Lifting weights. Just much more relaxed than when I was getting ready to go fight at Carnage, which was not relaxed. Which was, oh my God, I have to lift the heaviest weights I can possibly can. I have to hit the bag at least 6 rounds every night. Right? I got to do all this stuff, and I don't have any time to do it because I work multiple jobs, and I'm trying to write books.
So have you still been, I know you told me that you've resolved to not put on armor again, but I imagine you're still training and you're still teaching classes?
Well, I still do jiu-jitsu. So,
okay, cool.
I still have to do something, and I don't want to get out of shape. And I still teach classes. I'm still teaching, 3 times a week at Ironhide,
Awesome.
Boo Hurt classes. I've actually got some new students in the last couple of weeks, one of which has seen our podcast.
Awesome, man. Shout out.
Recognized recognized me from the podcast, believe it or not, which was weird and cool because
I love those statistics.
Hey, if we get 10,000 views, maybe I'll be able to, actually make some money at teaching.
Hey, man, let's go. Making money from sword fighting's the dream, man.
Yeah, it's the dream. Only like 2 guys on the planet do that right now.
I know.
Right, it's very low percentage. I bought the Benz I was telling you about.
Oh, sweet. Well, that's huge. Yeah. My man,
actually, it's really
just
small.
crushing those life goals over here.
It's a coupe.
Hilarious.
It's a 2-door.
So,
very tiny.
So let's get into it. So today, Josh, we're coming at the wild west of the internet with a discussion, like a greater unscripted, more open discussion about like the rules and how we feel about certain rules, how cards are applied, how adjudication, mid-match and post-match is done. And that's something I think you and I have discussed a lot, not only since Carnage, but just in general. Like it's something we talk about a lot, being competitive fighters and being people who are always looking, like most competitive fighters do, we're always looking for a way to like push the envelope or like find out which rules can be exploited for a better advantage. So I think it's like a really pertinent conversation going into the rest of the upcoming season.
Well, it's also, so my big thing is understanding what specifically each rule is supposed to do. I don't like vaguely written rules that can be interpreted multiple ways. I like precisely written rules that can only be interpreted one way.
I think that's like, I think anybody who is like a hardcore competitor would appreciate the same thing. Like, not to say that people who are more casual or more softcore don't appreciate that, but especially when you do big tournaments and you're like flying around the world and stuff, like you want to know precisely what's allowed and what isn't allowed, so that there's no real like vagary, so that we don't get caught doing things where like, oh, but that's how the rule is interpreted, or and that limits all kinds of like weird interactions with referees and staff that happens as a result of that, between team captains filing appeals, between refs arguing with each other about what is a call, having to like redo rounds, or like, definitely the clearer the rules are, the better it is for everybody.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, we live in a world where the rules aren't always very clear, and language translations can make them even more unclear.
Well, I think something, especially when you do a lot of duels, that comes to the foreground a lot is how like the perspective makes a really big difference on what you see. It's like when you're trying to count points as like a point counter in a corner, and you're like, oh, did that hit especially when you do reviews after the fact in video and you like look at a hit that maybe you had counted previously and you're like, shit, that didn't hit, but from my angle, like I swear that it hit, but it didn't. You know what I mean? So it's like there's definitely like a lot of nuance, and it can be really difficult to be a ref. So I think it's important to like point out before we get into it that like nothing that we're going to be saying is targeting anybody. It's not like a criticism of any refereeing body or any of the particular referees at any of the events that I've attended or that you've attended. I guess would be something that we should outline.
Look, I don't expect, like, you and I have both refed at different events, smaller events, never anything as big as Carnage or, you know, Cincinnati Siege or anything like that, but other events, and neither one of us expect other refs to be as perfect as we are.
Well, I mean, being the best ref in human history is like a hard title to carry, but
Yeah,
I am of a noble enough stature that I will gladly sacrifice myself for everyone
I mean,
else.
look at the size of my shoulders, man. I can
broadness.
carry a large burden. Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
broadness.
I can carry those burdens.
Yeah,
And
but they're definitely like it's hard to be a ref. It's hard to be a ref. It's one of the hardest things in the sport is to be a ref. And I think that's in a lot of sports because being a adjudicator, it's like the responsibility, right? Because your interactions, anything you do, any call you make can profoundly affect the results of a match. We see that in UFC. We see that with penalties in hockey. In particular, hockey, because of the 2-minute penalty box, can be huge, right? So it's
American football, pass interference, stuff like that, roughing the quarterback, the targeting rules, just like, you know, in Boo Hurt with like, you hit him in the neck. No, I hit him in the shoulder. Well, this ref says you hit him in the neck. Video clearly shows you hit him in the shoulder. Oh, but video didn't come out until the next day.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be something we're for sure going to talk about as we go through the rules, which is something that I think we should do in the context of this video. Is we have the rules documentation and we can just go through point by point. You know, we don't have to spend a million years on each rule because obviously some are going to be pretty obvious, but there's going to be a bunch that are really juicy that we can talk about.
We could spend a lot of time talking about
it,
but that doesn't seem to be very productive because some of the rules are actually pretty well written.
No, for sure. And that's something that I think we should outline as well, is that there's a lot that's really clear in the rules. So it's like, yes, there are going to be gray zones and there's going to be things that are open to interpretation. But in general, like most of us know what we're doing, especially at a high level. When you operate at a high level in the sport, allegedly, you know, apparently, whatever, right? Some people think so, but whenever you operate at a high level, like in a sport or a game, you tend to know the rules really well because it's the ability to play in between the rules or to take advantage of certain rules. Like in the famous words of GSP, if you're going to do this, make sure the ref can't see you. Right? Is a big part.
I remember that. That was hilarious.
Is a
that
big
was so
part.
Good.
Yeah, it's a big part of champion mentality too, right? Is understanding not necessarily how to break the rules, but understanding how to bend the rules and at what point, you know, rules can be taken advantage of in order to gain an advantage. And like, yeah, okay, it's considered dirty, but it's like everybody knows. Well, sometimes it is against the rules, but you know, you're not a criminal if you don't get caught, right? It's like, well, mama don't know, don't hurt her. So like, while that is not in good faith, and like, as I do not encourage that, I'm going to go out and say that just as a caveat, I don't fight that way. I don't encourage that, but it's like, we all know that when you go to bat with dudes who are of champion caliber, everybody knows that when you're at that level, you know how to like play around with the rules better than everyone else. You know, John Jones, bro, I'm not poking you in the eye. I'm not. I'm not. I'm just right?
fondling your eyeball.
Yeah. Justin Gaethje throwing a punch, bro. I'm not shoving my thumb in your eye. I just happened for this one time to throw a punch where my thumb was out, and I would never do that because I'm a trained champion level fighter. But I'm just happening to this one time do this.
When that happened, I was like, "Oh, come on! You knew your thumb was going to hit him in the eye. Come on,
bro." Yeah, well, dude, you saw it. You see his hand. Man. You see it from behind his shoulder. Go like, bro, come on.
So I think we kind of talked about this last time. I have never, in 11 years of fighting in Buhurt, never received a yellow card.
Same.
Never enter anything. The worst I got was a warning for yelling at myself when I did something stupid.
I got a
'Cause I
verbal
was-
warning for calling my friend names when he came in. He tried to come at me from the side, and I like took him down in a silly way, and I just like started yelling at him. And another one of my friends who was the ref was like, verbal warning for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Right. I got a verbal warning for cussing myself out for doing something dumb.
I like that.
So
I like getting a warning for cussing yourself out is strong.
Right. Right. Well, it was Amber that gave me the warning, Amber Wright, and she said, "Don't cuss my friend out, you jerk."
That's hilarious.
It was funny. The whole thing was funny. But
that's really funny.
But so one of my things is big is, like you said, good faith, right? Attempt as best you can to follow the rules to the best of your knowledge. And unfortunately, we have seen some people not do that in the past, and I hope it does stop. But at the same time, I tend to give a little bit of leniency for them because maybe their understanding of the rules is different from my understanding of the rules. And
good point.
Yeah. So, because as we are going to go over, some of the stuff can be interpreted in different ways.
I think there's always going to be loose interpretations, because people seek to gamify systems, and I don't necessarily hold people accountable for that in like a, I'm angry at you kind of a way. And I'm through the course of this video, I'm not going to call anybody out or like point any fingers or like call anybody unsportsmanlike or anything. But like I think that we both are going to have some stories and like situations to exchange of either things we've seen or been a part of or our opinions of stuff. And just through, I'm not gonna I'm not out here to like point the finger at somebody on the internet and be like, ha, you're bereft of all morals, But before we go any further, I want to give a little shout out to a couple refs that I think we all know and love and owe like a bit of a thank you to. One is Chris Wilkins, man.
Yes.
Yo.
Yes.
Chris, buddy.
That dude is awesome.
Chris, buddy.
He's fantastic.
He has a YouTube channel. I don't know if he's still producing content. Steel Tiger Media. I've done an interview with him. I think you did an interview with him. Did you do an interview with him?
Yeah, I think so.
Back in the day,
I've done enough interviews that I can't remember them all.
But
at this point.
I
think I've done more interviews with you than anybody else.
We've done a lot. We've done a lot together. We're gonna do more together.
Yeah,
forever.
Ooh.
Yeah, 10 seasons. Josh and Alex, 10 seasons.
Yes.
But yeah, Chris, I've been fighting with him for years. Before he started the Reavers, and I gotta say, as he started picking up the mantle of referee throughout the past several years, like whenever I see Chris at any event, like my heart soars because I know that there's going to be excellent quality reffing, excellent calls, and he does his best. He's honest and he does his best, and the guy knows the rules like inside and out. He makes solid calls, and he's kept many of us really safe. So like, buddy, shout out.
He makes solid calls on the spot.
Yeah, which is hard.
Like under pressure, like with big mean fighters breathing down his neck.
He's big and mean.
And he's
big and mean. He's ready.
He's tall.
He's ready.
He's tall.
He's ready and mean. He's tall and mean. He's ready. I think another one that
he's
deserves
a very nice young man.
I think another ref that deserves a shout out is Joseph Kedzier. I think he deserves a big shout out. He does excellent work. And he flies all over, handling a ton of big events, and like he's a big name in the martial community. So like, just a shout out to him as well. Like, thanks for all the work you guys do. And there's a million refs that I don't know your names, but like you're all awesome. Like I wished I knew more of you, more of your names, but like you're all awesome, and thank you for the work you guys do.
I like Joseph too, and his hair is always perfectly coiffed.
Dude, in the hat. He's rocking the hat. I love the historical, That's something we don't do enough. And just as an aside, it's something we don't do enough in Buhurt is is the Renaissance reenactment aspect. Like I really like that shit, but I know not a lot of people do. But like when I see somebody go hard in costume, I'm like, man, respect,
Really, anybody whose head, like in the list reffing at Carnage for any of the melee tiers has proven themselves to be either really good or excellent.
Spectacularly dressed. And just like with the excellent flag maneuvering, like undersung skill of being a marshal, right? Is you got to have like good pole work, you know, because you have these moments where you're like, all right, everyone's looking at me. Now I got to like put my pole down and tell everyone to fight, but I got to have flair because like the crowd is watching. You got to like do like these complex Jackie Chan maneuvers.
He needs 32 pieces of flair.
Bro,
he's only got 21, so he uses the stick, a little bit better to make up for that lack of flair,
Dude, and
although there is one ref who refed in this pro fights at Carnage, not this past year, but last year.
Osoto, is that Osoto?
Not Carnage, IMCF.
Is that Osoto? Is that Osoto ref?
Yeah, Osoto ref.
Ref.
Maybe it's okay if we call him out, because not only did they Osoto him, he was a jerk about it afterwards too.
Osoto ref. Yeah, now, hashtag Osoto never forget ref. Osoto ref.
Well, he apparently forgot what the rules were.
Hey man, guy had a good Osoto though. Gotta give he had a good Osoto. Whatever we're all gonna say.
It's real easy to Osoto somebody who doesn't see it coming. It's like. But I guess that's when you're supposed to attack somebody. That's what makes it good. Yeah.
He did that, bro. It was perfect. He got him. He had like no time to defend. He couldn't post. He couldn't like recover. Like it was perfect. He was all confused and shit when it happened. He was like bamboozled. It was like the perfect storm of circumstances to like nail an Osoto on an extremely high level fighter.
Well, anyway, all I was saying was if we're gonna call anybody out, it's gonna be that guy, right? Like. Come on, man! Like you can't do that. I'm gonna be dumping on that guy for another 20 years.
Teach me your ways, Sensei. All right. I'm crying. I'm actually crying. Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
I'm glad I could amuse.
I'm crying. Osoto ref. Never forget. So all right. So
hashtag never forget.
Yeah. Hashtag never forget. Osoto ref. So I've set us up. I've pulled up the rules, and I think that the way we should kind of go about this is we should just go through the rules, because we can just look at the rules and we can go through them and just talk about them and then be like, how do we feel? And then talk about adjudication as we go, and it'll probably take another 30 or 40 minutes, 17 hours, and
what we should have done was we should have set up like a tier system for the best and the worst rules. Like the worst ones are like F tier.
You have amazing
and
ideas.
The next one is like D tier, and then you go all the way up to like
we
S
can rate
plus
them.
tier.
Wow, this
you
is
can make
totally,
it into a lit RPG.
It's completely doable. If you want to pull up a notepad. Pull up a notepad, and we'll rate them as we go. We'll rate them either out of 5.
I got you full screen, man. I'm full screen, so I can read the rules.
You're full screen. Do I have a place I can put? Here, I got a notepad. I got a little notepad, and we'll try to. There you go. I got this, and we're gonna try to rate the rules as we go. So we'll have like a kind of tiering system. It's a great idea. Okay, so let me just flip us over here through the power of internet magic. Right, we have the rules. So let me get I gotta get my notepad back.
Fighting technique. I gotta get notepad.
Yeah, they're prohibited. So, okay, obviously there's like a whole rules document. So we're not going to go through everything that's permitted, because like most of us know what's permitted. The things that are we can. Like, is it ignorant to only talk about the things that are prohibited?
I mean, what's not prohibited? Punching people in the face, throwing people on the ground, punching people in the face again, but not when they're on the ground, unless it's a pro fight. Then you're allowed.
That's a rule. That is actually rule 5.12.
I think that one's going to be an S tier.
Yeah, that's going to be an S tier rule. Yeah. So what's our tiering system? Are we going with like A, B, C, D? S is obviously the best.
The lowest would be F. This is a failure. Then E, D, C, B, A, S, S plus.
S plus, SS.
Not even worry about S plus, just S. S is good.
S tier? Okay, sweet. So, all right, so let's start with...
to end all rules.
The rule that, yeah, S tier rules. Okay, so section 5, prohibited fighting techniques, and like obviously this comes with the caveat that if you're a fighter, even at the casual level, like read the rules, bro. You know, like I've been a team captain. I was a team captain of my local team up here for the better part of 10 years. I'm still a coach of the team. I held a seminar yesterday for my team, and one thing that we regularly have to go over and regularly impress upon people, especially new fighters, is read the rules. You have to know the rules,
Read the
dude.
rules.
So
Unless you're an IMCF, then there just are no rules. It's whatever.
dude, it's bro, it's a crapshoot. I don't know.
It's like,
I don't know what to say.
hey, we haven't posted the updated rules in like 3 years. Whatever.
Just figure it out as you
kidding,
go.
IMCF. I'm joking. I'm not serious. Your rules are up on the Facebook somewhere, I'm sure.
All right, so section 5, prohibited fighting techniques. Performance of any prohibited technique is a serious rules violation and is penalized with a verbal warning, yellow or red card. The penalty is imposed regardless of the fighter's intent. And I think this part, even though this isn't a rule, this is S tier to me.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how that is guidance on how a rule is to be interpreted, and guidance like that is invaluable. Although I wouldn't say it's S tier, I would give it an A tier.
You give this A tier?
I give that A tier because
it's an honorable. It's an honorable mention. It's an honorable mention.
It's not a rule, but it's good guidance. So I think we give it an A tier.
Give it an A, okay. A tier.
Yeah, give it an A tier.
Nice, it's an A tier. Okay, so 5.1 unlisted techniques.
Unlisted techniques.
Any actions not listed in section 4 of the rules are prohibited. Only authorized techniques are permitted. I put this at like an F as like a rule. Like it doesn't need to be stated.
Right, like why is this even here? I get it. We can't do anything that isn't allowed.
Yeah, but like
if it's not expressly allowed, you can't do it. No crap.
I mean, I get it. Like, there's a side of me that gets it because I unga, therefore I bunga. you
right.
know?
Like, yeah.
But I unga, therefore I bunga. But like at the same time, like, I mean, there's a section called authorized and a section called prohibited. So like to me, this is a fail. This is an F tier rule.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is an F tier rule. This rule's terrible. It's
all right.
Only because it's not needed. Just not needed.
Yeah, it's just not needed. So, all right. So 5.2 thrusting actions. Any thrusting actions with a weapon are prohibited. Threats of a thrusting action are also prohibited. So for me, I think this is a solid rule.
So I'm torn on this one because if we're going to say that 5.1 isn't needed, then isn't the whole rest of this list not needed?
Oh, man, no, that's huge. Okay, hold on. Well, but then this whole list. No, wait, hold on. Yeah, hold on. No. Okay, but then so this whole list. No.
Nothing but F tier.
Well, no, because outside of Boohurt, I'm a sysadmin, right? So it's like we're talking about being more efficient. This is just lines of code in your script, right? Like I don't need 100 lines of code if I have like one that does everything. Right?
Right.
So it's like you could just, the whole rule could be 5.1. But that's why 5.1 is like you still need a thing that's prohibited. You have to outline specific things that are prohibited for the purposes of ascribing penalties. Right? Like if like and there has to be things that are like permitted because you have to be like you have to be explicit in what you can and can't do. But like saying a rule, saying anything not listed in the things you can't do is something you can't do is like it becomes like this circular logic of like, yeah, but this is not in it's not in here, but it's not in here. So like I guess it's not in the rules, but is it a derivative of that rule? You know, like that opens the door to a lot of like shenaniganery, but I guess it's their disclaimer.
So here's how I'm going to start looking at this. I'm going to start looking at this whole thing as guidance on what referees are supposed to look for when looking for illegal techniques.
So, I mean, thrusting is something that's recently been addressed too in the rules, right? Because there was that rule change, which isn't specified here, which is interesting. But there was a rule change whereby if you take your one-handed axe and you grip your one-handed axe all the way under the axe head and you punch with it, that now constitutes thrusting. Although that doesn't count with a two-handed axe. What do you think about that?
Which is that's an F tier idiotic rule.
Well,
That's so stupid.
Yes, but that is part of the. But that is now a thrusting rule that has not been added to the thrusting rule.
It goes. It's the dumbest. Like,
yes.
How is that a thrust?
It's. I mean,
how in what alternate reality?
Okay.
Am I thrusting by punching? Like, you might as well just call the punch a thrust then, because I'm.
Well, a punch is a thrust. A punch is a thrust, but this is thrusting with a weapon. It's not thrusting with your fist. So, like, if we're gonna play the semantics game, we got to play the semantics game in good faith, right? Because, like, this is still thrusting. It is. This is not thrusting. A looping punch isn't a thrust, but a straight punch is a thrust. You're thrusting.
I suppose. I just don't look at a punch, because a punch is a blunt object. You can only
but you have the spiky thing in your hand. Right? You're like holding the spike and you're like punching with it. So it's like, cool, I get it, because let's say you like punch somebody under the arm with the point of your axe or some shit, or it's like you punch them in the face and it like that goes through the thing and stabs them in the eye. I could be like, okay, but to allow that, for me, the problem, the inconsistency is allowing that with two-handed axes, but not with one-handed axes, like assuming that the two-hand axe isn't going to do the same thing.
Yeah, how do you make that determination? Like, oh, it's fine with two-handed axes, but it's not okay with one-handed. Is it because one-handed axes are smaller? And in that case, you say, okay, if your striking edge is less than X, then you can't do it. If your striking edge is greater than X, then you can do it. You can't determine that by two-handed or one-handed. It's just a crappy rule.
So, like, what do you think? Because that is not specifically outlined in the rule, how does that affect the quality of this rule to you? Because like that brings the rule down, like, because I think no thrusting is like an S tier rule. It's a top tier rule because thrusting is so good at like ending,
hurting people
permanently, permanently ending the
fight. Right?
It permanently
ending the fight. It ends that person's career forever.
Because I've always said, new fighters, they're always like, oh, why can't we thrust? And I'm like, because like it's like a thrust is like a weird snake. Okay, it'll like go past your weapon, past your shield, it'll pass your tabard, it'll go under your aventail, it'll go over like your brigandine. Yeah, it'll go up through your helmet and stab you in the eye.
Like it'll make contact at your foot and somehow stab you in the eye. Like, yeah. I think the 5.2 is definitely S tier, but certain interpretations of it need some work.
I think that brings it down to an A tier.
I think it's I unfortunately, so I'm not going to say that it's an A tier. I just think
you still want it to be S tier. It can still be S tier.
It should be S tier, but
still be S tier.
We need to look at how some people interpret this rule.
I would agree with that.
How the advising of referees and the interpretations need to be looked at again, but not the rule itself, just how people are applying it.
That's legit. So we'll put 5.2 at S tier, and this is for our final tier list of rules at the end. So next rule, 5.3, offensive actions at prohibited strike zones. So this is an extremely juicy rule. Any offensive actions... Yeah, go for it.
So any offensive actions that land on prohibited strike zones, then that would, if it's a prohibited strike zone, then why do we have to say that you're not allowed to attack the prohibited strike zone? Simply having the prohibited strike zone should be enough to say, don't attack the prohibited strike zone. Right? So at the same time, we need to
You're all witnesses
understand
that he just said that. Okay? And this is going to be, because I'm going to bring this up, but you're all witnesses that he just said that.
What is an attack on the strike zone? And also,
there we go.
What is a strike
Here we go.
against the strike zone?
I'm excited. I'm so excited. All right. last time
Because
we were talking about stuff like this. We broached this topic
we
very
did.
lightly.
We did.
Okay.
We absolutely did.
And you brought up a story, right? About touching the no zone, right? And I was like, oh no, you're touching the zone where only gods may tread, right? Because you were telling this story.
Right, the knee. The
Right,
knee is don't hit. Oh, I don't care if you hit somebody in the groin. Don't even look at their knee.
So okay,
if you even consider attacking the knee, you have to leave.
So let's talk about that. So like, do you want to run over that story again of exactly what happened?
So a member of a team, the single leg takedown where the of the axe ran across, did not strike, but ran across the back of a fighter's knee, and the fighter who went down from the grappling from the single leg takedown was stood back up, and the fighter who did the single leg takedown was sat down by the referee for having touched the knee with the non-striking edge of the weapon.
I think that, especially because we're playing the semantics game, because the semantics game is what this is all about, right? I think the letter of the law here is on the referee's side because it says offensive actions. And me going for a single leg takedown is an offensive action. Me putting my shit behind you with the purpose of taking you down, although the rule does say the penalty is imposed regardless of the fighter's intent, right? So the fighter's intent is not relevant to what the action was, which was offensive and at a prohibited zone.
So I was not offended by the action, so I don't see how this could possibly relate to me against the rules.
I'm just saying I wasn't there.
If you also recall our conversation last time, I agreed that it was against the rules after I had gone over the rule because of this rule of saying offensive action.
Offensive actions. All right, we're on the same page. So you can disagree with how that's written, and we could have a whole discussion about what constitutes an action and whether or not like an open hand or a haft or something can go there and what the possible repercussions of that could be. But in terms of the way the rule is structured, you can't. It's a no zone, no touchy. That means you can't even touch the. Does that mean? Okay, hold on. Okay, I gotta think about this for a second. Does that mean? I guess you can't grab someone's foot either, right? Because if somebody kicks you, boom, and you grab the foot, like a Muay Thai catch, I guess that's illegal.
Oh. Ooh, let's look at those prohibited strike zones again. Let's go down there. Is the foot a prohibited? Did it say the foot is a prohibited?
Feet and ankle.
It says ankle. Foot and ankle.
And the ankle. So if I come to you, boom, I kick you in the solar plexus. Okay? And you go to catch your leg. You cannot touch my ankle. That's a huge zone. Ooh. Like ankle can be like how far up? I mean, they're showing a good picture. The picture's pretty good, but you got a decent chunk.
That is a decent picture.
Yeah, you got a chunk of ankle there. Like that's like what you're catching. You can't catch.
Yeah.
You can't catch a kick.
Yeah, that's the whole back of the Achilles. That's the whole that's the back of the Achilles all the way up into the calf.
It's not
the calf.
No, but I thought
it's definitely what I'd catch.
Right.
It's exactly when somebody teeps me, that's if I catch it, that's 100%. What I'm catching.
100%, because you're scooping right under. You're not scooping like around here. Yeah. You're catching like right under, and then you move off to the side. And you move off to the side so you can sweep.
Bring your hands together, and then you can whip him down with a single leg.
Yeah, or you could do that. Yeah, you could run the pipe.
Yeah, kick their leg out from under him, run the pipe, pull them in for a big right hand or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly what I'm catching. So I guess based on this rule,
kicking is so safe.
Illegal, which is so.
That means kicking is so extremely safe. It's so safe. I mean, okay, but nobody because I at the same time I haven't seen too many people catch kicks, but there is that one Dominus video. I got to try to find it. Maybe if I can find it, I'll put it in the description of the video.
Was it somebody caught a kick?
The jump kick? Yeah, it's the jump kick. Fuck, where is that from? It was the jump kick. He comes and he jump kicks, and the guy grabs the leg. I don't know where on the leg. We should look at that, right? But he grabs him and he like flings him by him, and he kills him that way.
So, but the question is, it says offensive action. So if you catch it, is that a defensive action?
Oh boy, it does say offensive action.
Yeah.
So okay, so I can't ankle pick you.
So
Right?
I can,
So I can't,
like, grab it, but then I have to let it go and do something else.
Can
That's
I?
what that's telling me.
So I can't. Okay, like sure, we don't do like ankle picks, right? Theoretically, but
Right.
does that mean I can't
We
pressure
should.
your face? But I can't pressure your face and go for an ankle pick? Like that's illegal according to this, right? Because it says ankle.
Right.
This also
Like, you
makes
have to do a calf pick, which
but
is much harder.
But this also makes a lot of those old meta rules where you'd have like an axe with a really long beard so that you could hook behind the ankle and then push pull. You can't do that for
Dude,
sure.
Kosoto. You can't do Kosoto.
You can Kosoto.
You can't do Kosoto Gare.
You can still Kosoto.
Because well, you have to do it calf to calf. You can't do it ankle to ankle.
Oh my god, you're right. You can't sweep behind their ankle, so you can't be far and like pick behind the ankle. You have to.
So you have to go super deep. You have to go super deep with your hook and get calf to calf.
That's crazy.
If you go ankle to ankle, you're not allowed.
That's actually crazy. You know what? But this also makes all of the side-on Asotos full blast illegal. The whole side-on Asoto discussion that's like subtly happening right now because of the injuries at Carnage from side-on Asotos that are on video, right? Like the whole, like, I have pictures of getting hurt by a side-on Asoto in Ohio. So it's like, but when you're doing an Asoto, right? Even if you're coming in at like any kind of side-ish angle, you're gonna. It's so hard to stay at the hip.
You're gonna attack the knee.
You're gonna
attack the knee, or like getting it perfectly so that your hip is in the right position and your calf touches exactly their calf and nothing else.
Even
daggone near impossible.
Harigoshi can go straight through the knee, and that can also bleed into the hyperextension rule because you can hyperextend somebody's knee, Harigoshiing them. It also goes into stuff like Taiotoshi because Taiotoshi can blast the knee both directly and through hyperextension. So it's like it's also, I guess, the degrees of complexity are what's hard to adjudicate there, because as a ref, you were watching somebody get taken down and you're not necessarily watching like the exact point of contact where they're passing through the knee or something.
Right. So I think this rule needs to be written to strikes against, or just needs to be taken out or rewritten to say it's strikes against those zones.
But what about the back of the neck? Because there's so much we do against the back of the neck, because we go with overhooks, you go collar tie, double collar tie, right? We're hooking around the back of the neck with weapons. There's like so much head back of neck interaction.
So, I understand the back of the neck in this context. I get the back of the neck. Don't hook under the helmet, the lip of the helmet.
Yeah.
Understand. But is me grappling the back of the neck to do like a snap down or something to that effect really any more dangerous than doing a head rip the opposite way and like turning their head and snapping it at the same time?
The way this is
one
written,
of those things is legal and one is not legal.
But the way this is written, okay, if you are faithful to the rules as written, okay, single collar tie is illegal. Single collar tie is illegal. I can't come with an offensive action over the back of your head because I'm going to be pulling you down.
So single collar tie on the neck is illegal. Single collar tie
on the head, sure.
The crown of the head would be legal.
Sure.
And that's how you should do it without armor on.
Yes, because you're going high up on the head.
Right,
because you go high up on the head to get leverage. Difficult. Yes. But I'm talking about how we see it in our bro. Are you? Come on, okay. You and I are fighting, and we're fighting for position, and you go from you transition from lapel grip to an overhook, right? And I'm trying to crush you to the side, especially against the list or something, and I'm trying to hip sag you into the ground. Like I'm around the back of your neck. Like just call a spade a spade. You know?
Right. Like I get it. I'm just saying that the helmet makes doing a collar tie the proper way, which is at the crown of the head, pretty much impossible because you just slide right down it.
Yeah, I mean, you get some people with a pointy.
You end up on the neck.
Some people have a really pointy bassinet peak, and you can wrench down from there. But
it's because armor is slippery. Like you can't. There's no way to grip it, right? Like I'm not strong enough to like when you're pulling away, I'm not strong enough to hold onto your helmet most of the time. It just slips right out.
Do you grease up before tourneys? I grease up before tourneys.
I actually do not because I want the friction because of the way I fight, or excuse me, the way I fought.
The way you fought.
I'm retired.
You'll come back. I'm telling you, they're going to come to you in a chopper one day, and you're going to be chopping wood, and they come to you and they say, "Josh, we need you for one last job," and you're going to be like, "I gave that up."
And another reason I like the friction is because it allows me to apply my strength, because I am probably one of the most underratedly strong guys who has been fighting in the American circuit for a while.
I like the underratedly strong.
You found out how strong I am.
You're strong. You're a strong little guy.
I'm a strong little guy. Yeah. I have much more. I'm much stronger than most people think that I am.
You're a strong little guy.
I can prove it by bench pressing 315 5 times.
That's a big.
Or at least when I wasn't hurt.
That's a big boy lift right there.
That's big. I've been putting up big numbers for a while.
So, what do you think of this?
75%.
So, I mean, I'm going to want to talk a bit more about this later when we get into karting, because like the thing that I want to talk about with regards to all of this comes in later in that discussion. But as for this rule, how do you rate this rule? I feel like this rule is like an A tier rule.
I think it's at best a C tier rule.
You think this is a C tier? Yeah, because you don't like the notion.
I don't like that I'm not allowed to grapple people's bodies.
So let's go
middleman. I get not grappling the front of the neck. I get not going under the lip of the helmet. I get not doing oil checks and that kind of stuff.
There should definitely be no oil checks in this sport.
Yeah, especially not with the gauntlet.
There should be no oil checks in this sport, bro.
If you don't know, for those listening, if you don't have a grappling background and you don't know what an oil check is,
it's horrible.
Just watch Ace Ventura 2 when he comes out of the Rhino.
So let's go middleman, and this will be a B tier rule. All right. We joked about this one before. Actions with foot, shin, and knee. All right, take it away, Josh. Actions with foot, shin, and knee. Okay, you're not going to? Okay.
Isn't this just I am. I'm just. Isn't this just 5.3 over again? Why do we need this if we have the one above it?
I like this one because this one has this rule, which I lovingly call the Pierre-Luc rule.
Such as push kicks to the thigh.
Yeah, this was because of IMCF 24 because of what happened with Charlie.
I understand, but if they don't need to have this. They could just put hyperextension to the knee, push kick to the thigh under 5'3" as 5.3 as an example.
They have joint locks and hyperextension, arm lock, leg locks, and any actions that may cause a limb to hyperextend are prohibited. And this is a discussion we had following our fight at our interaction at Carnage in my first round. So this is definitely something that, I mean, there's a lot of gray in a lot of these rules, right? But I think what I like about this one in particular is that they specifically talk about the knee being a no-no zone. And yes, okay, you are correct that you don't need to say that actions aimed at the knee are prohibited. But I think you could have added an addendum including this into offensive actions at prohibited strike zones with an explanation that a push kick to the thigh causes a hyperextension of the knee.
Yes, I think that could all be rolled into 5'3".
Yeah. So I
just think it could.
I think that makes 5.4 an F tier rule.
Yeah, I think so too. It's an F tier rule.
Okay. 5.5, grappling and holds. Grappling and holding with the hand on specific armor elements, aventail, edge of pauldrons, edge of helmet, pushes on the bottom edge of the helmet, and subsequent neck twists are prohibited. What do you think of this, Josh?
So, I don't think that we should be restricted from turning somebody's head. I get that we shouldn't turn their head around the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Right? But turning the head is a way of controlling somebody's posture in a grapple. I turn people's heads all the time. with
Crossface.
with a cross
Yeah,
face.
crossface.
Right, that's turning their head. It's using the edge of the helmet to turn the head.
Yeah, especially if you can get leverage and your gauntlet gets locked into like
Right.
part of their face or something, and you're like, nice, I have that
Right.
connection, and you're just like, and you push. Yeah.
Like, so I guess this is more. So the way it's written, I don't like it. I think it needs to be more specific towards quick jerky twists of the head or neck. I think there needs to be some sort of way of making it a little bit more specific.
Don't like
because,
Mission Impossible somebody's neck is like, to me, pretty
Right.
straightforward. You know, don't just be
right,
like,
because just
you know.
saying a neck twist is removing a lot of grappling and a lot of head control.
What I don't like about this rule is it mentions the edge of the pauldron. What do you mean I can't grab the edge of the? What do you mean I can't grab the edge of their shoulder piece? I can't grab.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make a lick of sense.
I've never heard of somebody getting dropped. I've never heard of a ref downing somebody for grabbing a pauldron. Yeah, grabbing a pauldron. I could see them downing you. Let's say you got a dude with a kettle hat, right? Or back in the day when you had people with bassinet with peak, and you grab that shit and you wrench that. They're okay. I'm on board. You shouldn't do that. You know, but also like, don't wear that helmet. It's bad.
Don't wear that helmet.
It's
don't
bad.
wear a hound skull.
Yeah, what are you doing? Anything that like you people can grab is bad. You know, but like, what do you mean?
Like,
what do you mean the pauldron? You know, so like I don't know.
So I understand the intent of this. So I'm going to say this is a D tier rule.
I agree with D
because I get the intent, and I think the intent is very good.
Yeah.
Here. But it needs to be reworded, in my opinion.
Armor tampering, 5.6. Deliberate attempts to remove any elements of the armor are prohibited.
S tier.
Yeah.
S tier. Or just automatically.
Yeah, automatic S tier.
Don't rip people's armor off.
Yeah.
Don't rip people's armor off.
The fighter committing the offense will be sat down and given a yellow card. That I like. It's a very specific penalty, which we don't have enough of. I love that. Specific penalty. A fighter who deliberately has their armor so it can be easily removed will receive a yellow card for unsportsmanlike conduct. I love that. I love that.
Yes.
That is sick because it addresses the gamification of rules that we touched on earlier, right? And that specifically targets people who would be bastards that way. But he ripped my bracer off. Oh, but he ripped my elbow off. And you're like, buddy, your elbow gets ripped off every round. What's going on? You know?
So story about this one. You know, I got accused of this once.
Do share.
Yeah, I got accused of trying to rip a guy's armor off because after I got done fighting him, his armor was in tatters, and so I brought up the video and I was like, "Yeah, I was ripping your armor off with my axe as I hit you."
That's hilarious. But I think that also counts as armor tampering, but it's not intentional. But your intent doesn't matter. Right. But if you're also not aware, but you're not deliberately doing it and you're not necessarily aware or taking advantage of it, I don't think you would get a penalty for that because you're not trying to.
I think I hit him twice and he made it sound like a dying mule and then he fell over.
All right, so S tier.
Nice. He's a nice guy. Like the guy's a nice guy and everything. It just it got to it was Ice Falcon armor, so Ice Falcon got kind of
not recommended. Not recommended by Not Another Boohurt podcast. Buy good armor that doesn't cost you $1 trillion and is bad. 5.7 suffocation techniques. I think this is an auto S personally. Grip.
I just don't understand. I just don't okay, don't strangle the guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can call that an S tier. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's a needed rule with offensive actions to prohibited strike zones.
I think it is. I think it is because there are things you can do having had it done to me and having it been a meta back when helmet straps were substantially worse. I don't know what kind of helmet strap you use.
Somebody's strangling you with your helmet strap.
There you go. Right? I now use the Ursus chin strap, which I hard recommend to anybody. Look up Ursus chin strap on YouTube. The football chin strap, it changes your life. Instead of having like the under-over double chin strap nonsense with the straps coming down from the tentacles and stuff on your mouth. It doesn't make sense.
I love the double chin strap.
It's horrible.
I swear by it.
Change to the Ursus chin strap. It'll change your life, dude.
I had an Ursus chin strap,
Oh,
and I didn't like it as much.
wow.
I did not feel as secure.
Wild.
I use the double chin strap differently though, because when I use the double chin strap, I take the strap that goes further back and I pull it up over so it cups my chin and my head gets super tight in there.
That's legit.
And it doesn't go anywhere.
That's legit.
So I do things. Imagine that the engineer, the cybersecurity engineer, figures out how to do things in a roundabout fashion. My thing on this one is I do like the last sentence. A polar-fitted helmet does not count as a suffocating technique.
Yeah.
I think that is a good sentence. Because if you're like in the guillotine position, you can strangle the crap out of somebody and not even have any idea that you're strangling the crap out of them. Like you have no idea because their helmet is fitting poorly. They're strangling the crap out of themselves.
Oh, well, here we go. Specific strikes, 5.8. Strikes or punching with the head of a one-handed axe are prohibited if the grip of the hand is less than 30 centimeters away from the blade. And strikes with the hammerheads are prohibited. So
okay, so the strikes with the hammerhead is good.
Legit.
Strikes with hammerhead being prohibited. Legit.
I could feel
that,
Paul.
That sentence is like an A tier.
I feel Paul the Barbarian just fuming in the comments right now. He's gonna say something. Paul, buddy, I love you. I know you're gonna say something. It's coming.
Well, he legitimately got hit with the hammer back like 3 times. Right,
by a big mamma jamma too.
That looks like it sucked.
Yeah.
Strikes with the punching head of the one-handed axe is prohibited. Oh, this is getting back to what we were talking about before.
Yeah, but now it's at least outlined. It's not outlined as a thrust, but it's outlined in the rules as a specific strike. But I don't like this rule.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like the strikes with hammerheads are prohibited. I think that I think that is something that has value.
I think this rule overall is a C tier rule because it contains one thing that's good and one thing that's kind of meh. And it's like that I don't really know what the injury reports are like. Like I'm speaking in ignorance in terms of what, could have been led to the creation of this rule. Perhaps there was something that happened, but just in my long experience of fighting at all kinds of events with all kinds of people, like of all the things I've seen, like that is not a thing that I've seen that's like a thing. So for me, this is C tier.
Yeah, I think I agree. Oh, so how long before Larry says, "Why didn't you guys speak up when we were asking about these rules?"
Oh.
Well, because it was Facebook, and I don't have 800
Maybe you should
to talk about.
You know what, Larry? Maybe you should have just called me up and just asked me straight up how I felt. Did you ever think about that?
Yeah.
Oh, what? You have too many people to call? Well, that sounds like a you problem. Not me. No, jokes aside, Larry, you do an amazing job. We love you. We love you. We're just talking
Larry's
shit.
A great dude, man.
You're a great dude. Thank you for everything you do for us. We're just talking shit.
We love Larry. We love Larry. Larry does a great job. We're just teasing.
5.9 dangerous takedowns.
So hold on. Our tagline for this podcast is "It's shenanigans time."
It is shenanigans.
None of this stuff is serious. We're not.
The tier list is serious.
This is 2 guys with the brain capacity of like a sloth
yelling at clouds.
About the rule. Yes. Stupid clowns.
So 5.9 dangerous takedowns. Any takedown that spikes an opponent on their head, neck, and suplex arch throw variations are prohibited. For me, that's like an easy A. Easy A. It's easy to not smash people on their head. The rule says what it needs to say. I don't think it's as crazy as armor tampering or suffocating people or thrusting because it's hard to slam people on their head. But it's like an easy A. Solid rule.
I want to do suplexes, though.
You want to do suplexes?
Yeah,
I mean, could you full armor suplex? Or would you be getting full armor suplexed?
I don't know because I've never tried it because it's against the rules. So I've never tried.
I want to say I don't think you could do it just so you start doing it. Gives you a reason to get your kit back on. Yeah, it'll get you out of retirement. Josh, we need you for one last job.
If they make suplexes legal, I might have to think about it. Think about it. No promises.
All right.
It's an A tier. That's an A tier.
That's an A tier rule. 5.10, intentional passivity. Intentional passivity and stalling of the action, such as inactive clinch, are prohibited. An inactive clinch is a clinch situation where the fighter is performing weak weapon strikes or no grappling techniques aimed at grounding their opponent for 10 seconds or longer. Strikes with a fist, knees, or shield are not considered. I hate this rule. I hate this rule. I think this is a terrible rule as a lifelong sandbagger. I hate this rule. I want to sandbag the bigs. You put me on a big, okay, when my knees are functioning and not injured because of impropriety, okay? When my knees are functioning and not injured because of impropriety, you can put me on a big and I can hold that big, okay? But if you start the whole like, oh, inactive whatever on me, it's like, bro, like what am I supposed to do except hold the, like, do you in saying this, you do not recognize how difficult it can be to maintain that situation. I am putting every ounce of energy into stalling this guy. And now you're separating me? Are you out of your mind? Like, terrible rule.
We should do just a podcast on this rule.
Yeah.
And then invite Brumfeld on to talk with me about how we have grappled in corners half a dozen times and just stood there until a ref breaks us up and then come apart and go right back into the corner again.
Well, what I don't like is that from the outside, okay, and look, yes, it does happen. We get exhausted and we're like leaning on each other, but that's part of the game too. That's part of the wrestling game in Kid, right? And it's like, oh, but if I'm not moving, shit around me is happening and people are getting wrecked. Like, that's bad for my team. Breaking me up is just like unnecessary referee interaction that like affects the fight because now you separate, and it's like, I could just peace out. Like, if you and me are wrestling, okay, and we're stalled, you know, I got you, let's say I got you framed up and you got me framed up and we're locked up and we're not moving, right? And the ref separates you and me. If I run from you, you are never catching me. I'm way faster than you. You're not catching me, right? So if I choose to leave and I go and I wreck somebody because the ref split me up, because the ref said we're inactive, you know, now your team gets like a major swing against them where you are locking me down maybe, but the ref sees it as being inactive.
I think this also punishes the patient fighter.
Yeah, because I'm holding my position waiting for you to throw to attack so I can counter or I can exploit, or I'm trying to sap your energy. I'm grinding you and you're punishing me.
So,
don't like it.
As somebody who fights with timing, being passive is a strategy, or is a tactic rather, that is useful. And there's other timing fighters who do this. Like Craig Ivey is a timing fighter as well. And he would be passive in a clinch until he saw something, and then he'd freaking toss the guy.
Yeah.
Right. Daniel Krug could be very patient
while waiting to murder
Cat
you.
Brooks, right? Cat Brooks very patient in a grapple. And not pushing the pace, but waiting for the opportunity to do something horrendous. The person, right? So I believe very strongly that this is a bad rule, or at least the way the rule is applied.
Yeah,
is a bad way of applying it.
It's not an F,
and
it's not an F
because it's not an F. It's a D tier.
Yeah, because keeping the action going is important too. You can't just let people stall. For sure,
there needs to be something like this. But it needs to be applied very carefully.
Yeah. Gingerly. A non-liberal use of this rule. Like All right.
A conservative use of the rule.
5.11, joint locks hyperextension. So I think this is a solid A tier. This is an A tier rule.
This is one of my least favorite rules. But yes, it is an A tier.
The reason it's not an S tier.
I just don't like it.
Well, I understand why you don't like it, and we should go into it a little bit, even though our video is already like just crushing the duration. Whoever's like driving to something, like, I hope you're in traffic, bro, because I mean, I don't, because I hate traffic, but like, just to listen to this, bro, we're going, we're ripping here. We're on a roll. But joint lock and hyperextension, for me, it's straight up A. It's just that it's vague in the sense that there are so many techniques that momentarily cause hyperextension. Right, or momentarily cause a joint lock, you know, and
there's so many throws that use a locked out joint
Yep.
to finish the throw.
Tayo, side on a Soto,
Right?
Harai can
That
do it. Uchi can do
like
it.
just a Russian tie.
Yeah.
Just a Russian tie. Like
Yeah.
I do a Russian tie, I extend your arm to pull you into the position for
I-
me to put my shoulder over
I feel
yours
like the
and
Russian
put you
tie
on
is
the ground.
illegal. I feel like the Russian tie is illegal. It's against the spirit of this rule because it's necessarily locking the elbow, the shoulder. And it's like when you're in this position and you press, it's like the difference between me being here and me being like this is like it's like this is 1 millimeter of difference. And it's like I'm all right, lifelong injury. All right, lifelong injury. You know, especially in
Right,
armor
like,
where I have
so-
reduced range of motion.
When it comes to this rule, I understand why it's there. I understand that it's protecting people, which is why I agree that it's an A tier rule. I just hate it because I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
I mean, I understand that because when you and I fought, right, like in our engagement, the reason that I went down, I mean, aside because you off balanced me and landed a good throw, but what prevented me from, not to say the reason, but what prevented me from defending myself is because when you blasted through my leg, you went right through my knee. My knee went completely straight. Like I felt it hyperextend. And you could see in the video, I go down and I'm like hobbling. I took so much knee damage this tournament. It was crazy. And while I don't blame you for trying to like intentionally hurt me or something,
I still feel bad.
for sure. And look, all's forgiven. We're bros. I don't hold anything against you, right? I don't think you like tried to do anything illegal or untowards, but I think that like there are so many of those interactions that happen when we're throwing, and it's like, because that happened, or that happens when you do that kind of a throw, is it illegal according to the rules? Does that count as a hyperextension?
According to the rules,
we were debating
is illegal.
But how do you ref that?
By this rule, well, you have to have refs that. So we were talking about how great the refs were earlier.
Yeah, they're honed in on your knee when you're getting reaped.
Right, like a lot of refs aren't fighters, or at least aren't high level fighters, so they don't have the grappling acumen to know what's going on in every different clinch. And even if they were high level grapplers,
you still can't see that
so
shit.
much happening, you can't see everything.
Through the armor too.
Right. And the armor messes things up. Like I was throwing you, I had no idea that I had hyperextended your knee. I walked away going, haha, I won. I get to make fun of him later for winning.
And I was like crippled. And I was like, my whole tournament's wrecked.
And when I turned, and after the round was over and I turned around to go walk out, I see you hobbling.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh crap, that was me that did that to my friend. I thought him just the elation of beating in our first match and getting the first takedown of the first round.
Yeah, it was solid.
Right. Was just drawn out because my friend was hurt.
It was solid though because you wrecked me. Like it was a great grapple and you off balanced me and you did like a great throw. And from the outside, it would be so hard to see because you can't see inside the armor where you see my knee joint. So you can't see, and you can't see, and the refs can't see, the camera can't see. Right. So it's going to be only a thing you're going to see after. And then what? I have to be like injured. And then it's like I have to make an appeal and then we have to prove it. And then it becomes this whole, it's like it's so hard to adjudicate that.
Right.
So
but it's still an A tier rule.
It is an A tier rule.
It is protecting the fighter, and it's protecting the fighter from intentional hyperextensions, arm locks, broken
arm
bones,
locks, knee locks, knee bars.
Like the stupid Steven Seagal. He grabs your hand and smashes your elbow, and they're completely unrealistic. But it could happen in this sport because so much could happen.
So much chaos.
There's just so much going on.
Agreed.
Right. But it also brings up like other stuff. Like if somebody is planted on somebody else, like they have their arms extended, they're pushed, they're grabbing, and you come in and cross check them and hit their elbow the wrong way and hyperextend. Is that against the rules? Because that's incidental. It's still an A tier rule. It's just, I just hate it. I just hate it.
I agree with you. So we put that at A tier. So I'm gonna wrap up the next three into one because I think these are all part of a greater discussion. Right. So 512 striking grounded competitors. 513 injuring a competitor, and 514 uncontrolled strikes. Like, to me, all of these things are generally about malicious behavior. If you're fighting in an uncontrolled way, it's because you're lacking the moral fiber in order to be able to either fight correctly, or you're entirely unskilled and doing dangerous things knowingly. You know, and I think striking a grounded fighter is like, we know in the sport, like, once you're out, like, all you have to do is get them to like touch the ground with one finger and they're dead. There's no reason to continue after they're already down, unless it's a pro fight, in which case you should absolutely continue, you know. But
punch them many times.
Yeah, it's like, there's no like, these three things to me, there's no reason to attempt to injure somebody either, especially when they've lost use of a weapon, or are in a posture where they cannot defend themselves due to the loss of an element, like a piece of armor, a helmet, or something. It's like
now there is one case where I'm okay with, well, actually two cases. Well, one, we're gonna talk about one case where I'm okay with 5.13, and that's the kid touchers. Eat them bad.
At this point where Josh and I will take a moment to say, neither of us are on the Epstein list.
Correct. Yeah. I am not on the Epstein list.
For now. There's still another 3 million files, and oh boy, but for now,
well, there are like 400. There are like 400 people in the United States named Josh Kearney, so one of them might be on the Epstein list.
All right. Last one of the list, 515, weapon loss. It is prohibited to pick up a weapon that is lying flat on the ground, to receive a weapon from an already grounded fighter, to receive a weapon from anyone outside the list except for the squire in the designated area. For me, this is like an A tier rule. B.
Here's the question
Don't
I have.
Pick things up off the ground.
I think this is a great rule. But what if I take a weapon off of my opponent's? I take my opponent's spare weapon.
I believe we're allowed to do that.
Okay, we're allowed. Is that allowed?
Should we go up
to that's allowed?
Should we go up to the permitted section? Should we just?
Is it in there? Authorized fighting techniques, weapon grabbing techniques and moves, permitted strikes, strike zones.
Grabbing the opponent's weapon, except the blade or a shield with a free hand, is permitted. A competitor can take away a weapon from the belt of the opponent, provided the fighter holds their weapon. The fighter is then allowed to use the opponent's weapon until the end of the round, and then it must be surrendered back to the opponent. So
in that case, that's an A tier rule.
It's an A tier rule.
That's an A tier rule.
It's an A tier rule because you can take people's shit.
Yeah. I forgot that was there.
All right, so
I usually don't forget about that kind of stuff.
That ends.
That's an A tier rule.
The prohibited fighting technique section. Yeah, solid. We could jump in real quick. Let's take a look at other prohibited actions. Prohibited strike zones. I don't think we need to go over. I think everybody can go over that on their own.
We kind of went over that already.
The picture was up. The rule page was up. Like, we don't need to tell them that the groin is illegal. The groin. That's what that's the groin.
Body part. Part of the opponent's body that has lost its protection is considered a Okay, that has lost its protection.
Like your bracer comes off, or your gauntlet comes off, and you're like, ugh.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. All right, let's go up. We don't need to talk about prohibited strike zones anymore.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to talk about the other prohibited actions? Are these part of the tier list? I think these are solid. I think these are generally solid. This is like behavioral stuff.
Yeah, this is good. This is all good. Oh, I love the substance abuse one. Don't be on PCP.
Don't be on. Yeah. There's only so much crystal. Yeah. Don't be on crystal meth. But all the pre-workout. Does that have nootropic effects? Because if that has nootropic effects, there were people blasting a lot of pre-workout, man. Just saying. They might be getting performance enhancing advantages, or like psychoactive influences from all the Chinese nootropics that are unverified with tainted samples and stuff.
My opinion on substance use is, don't use substances, but if you're on steroids, I don't care.
I mean, as long as steroids are not against the rules, I don't care. Do I think steroids should be against the rules? Yes. Is it possible to make
I-
steroids
I
against the
don't.
rules without a body that does regular drug testing? No. Therefore, it shouldn't
No.
be in the rules. I think that
I don't think it should be. I don't
mean,
think it should be
look,
against the rules in any sport.
I think
it should be
there
allowed.
there should be an enhanced category and a natty category. There should always be enhanced and natties as separate categories. Like that's what the enhanced games are all about.
Bodybuilding.
Well, I know, but the enhanced games are coming, bro. You're watching the enhanced games. You don't know about the enhanced games? Are you serious right now?
I don't have cable.
You're on the internet. What do you mean cable? Who
Yeah,
gets
but
cable?
I
Bro,
have
you just
multiple jobs. I
you
don't
just
watch
blew my
TV.
mind with cable. Cable? What do you mean cable? Bro,
I pay attention to like
Oh my
three
God.
things.
I'm literally having a meltdown right now.
I got a daughter who's in gymnastics, who's winning competitions, right? Who's getting 37.5.
Bro, you can brag as much as you want about how successful you are, but you don't know about the enhanced games. Like it invalidates all of your bragging right now. You got it. Like,
all
okay,
my bragging is
completely because you don't know, bro.
I still have a Benz.
Please, okay, yeah, but that doesn't matter because you don't know about the enhanced games. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. Okay, and inform yourself.
About what's going on with the enhanced games?
No, it's just like a version of the Olympics, but everybody's allowed to be on PEDs. So as opposed to being
dope.
like,
I think it's going to be better than the Olympics.
Exactly. So it's not like where everybody's like trying to hide it. It's like now people are going full send. Like people are.
We're gonna watch like
redlining
that look like Arnold Schwarzenegger when
we are seeing
when he was in
what the
prime.
best combination of humanity and science can produce is what we're about to see. It's going to be glorious,
and they're all going to be dead in 5 years.
It's going to and their names shall live on forever in infamy. But yeah, like there's
going to be so much. There's going to be so much roid rage in like the diving competitions.
I mean, look, I'm just a natty. I'm a natty for life. Okay, I just think that people should try to make the best of themselves with what they got.
Dude,
but that's me.
PED synchronized swimming. Like PED synchronized swimming.
I
when
literally
one of them
think
makes
that's
a
in the
mistake,
enhanced
the
games.
rest of them just roid rage and tear that person
like
apart.
piranhas.
It's amazing. It's going to be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. PED luge.
It's funny. So that brings us to
they're gonna lie there the best in the luge going
so
please don't wreck.
So that brings us to the last subject of our discussion, PEDs for life. But that brings us to the last section of our discussion, which is really about how we feel about carding, right? And one current and like not to make fun, but and this could very well be a clerical error, but the rules currently do not have like the specifications regarding what constitutes carding as described in the index. So Josh and I can't really go off of what the index suggests because as you can see here, guys, the management of fights section where we get like information about verbal warnings, yellow cards and red cards. This section isn't filled out in the rules. This is 99% most likely a clerical error, but we have enough.
Can we just put a graphic over this that says do whatever the hell you want?
In progress.
Whatever the hell you want.
Work in progress. Men at work.
Interpret this however you want to interpret it. Like it's whatever. It's the anarchy of Boohurt, right? Like here we go. It's gonna be like that enclave they built in Portland where anything goes. Just do whatever you want. You want to have guns, it's fine. So hey, here's you break the rules, we shoot you.
It's the purge.
Right? Like there you go. It's the purge.
It's the purge.
It's the Boohurt purge. We don't like your team, so we're gonna just beat you
purge.
Beat you to Darth with these sticks, right? Like we're gonna punishment for talking out of turn is tase. It's just whatever you want, however you want to do it. Whatever. It's okay. It'll be fine. Like I'm gonna go down to the deli and talk to Tony. And we're going to do it. Tony's going to come out and he's going to say, "Hey, yo, you broke the rules," and he's going to take you and he's going to kneecap you. That's what
you get a visit from Joe Pesci when you break the rules.
Joe Pesci with a baseball bat.
just dated ourselves right there. We're old. We just dated ourselves. But
Joe Pesci's still around.
So
like we've
been doing Boohurt long enough that we don't necessarily. I mean, okay, we can discuss the broad outlines of what constitutes warnings and cardability because of our experience in the sport, right? And having seen previous iterations of rule books from other leagues, Buhurt League, HMB, ACS, ACL, ACLW, IMCF, whatever you want, right? Everybody has like a system of carding and verbal warnings. So like generally, the least flagrant violation will get you a verbal warning. Something like, hey, watch out for like you see this most often when people are trying to head rip or they're doing that a kind of grapple where their stick is like approaching the neck. Hey, get off the neck. Hey, get off the neck. So we've seen those kinds of verbal warnings for very minor infractions of the rules. Most notably
Or
around
you're
prohibited
getting
strike zones.
close to breaking a rule. Like, hey, watch out! You
Watch
may
out
be
for next
against the knee,
time.
kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Hey,
might
next
have
time
engaged
watch
the knee
this.
there.
Yeah, next time don't do this. I'm not sure, but I saw this. So I think that verbal warnings are a really useful tool that referees and marshals have because they can call attention to a fighter's behavior, and they can like call out that fighter to other people, say, "Hey, verbal warning," and everybody is now going to pay attention to this guy to make sure that he doesn't, he doesn't like violate another rule. And then there could be like increased focus on that fighter or like an increased propensity to card because now they've been already issued a verbal warning. So it can be a really good tool to be like, hey, watch out for this so nobody else nails you. Plus, also now all the other marshals are extra paying attention to this one guy.
Yeah. Yes. You said all the words.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to add about that? Do you feel?
I completely agree.
Okay, sweet. So where we're going to start?
I just want to see uniformity. That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's something that I find is going to be difficult because a certain amount of like personal experience and like in the moment judgment is required. So it's hard for everybody, especially considering that not everybody has the same level of experience. Like a really strict guideline is probably something that they need. Having not gone through the Marshall program, I mean, maybe they do, and it's just not included in this document.
I think as time goes on, and we get more marshals who have significant amounts of fighting experience, which we will eventually, as people get old like I am, we will see more uniformity in general just because the experience level of being in the shoes of a fighter is going to go up.
Yeah.
And this isn't calling anybody out who's never fought but is reffing or is marshaling. This that had nothing to do with that. It's just there's certain things that a fighter is going to know to look for, and there's things that unless you were a fighter, you're probably not going to know to look for it most of the time. You might see it and then start looking for it, but if you don't see it first, you might not know to look for it. Like getting to the neck is one of those things because you could have your weapon angled in a way that looks like it's not attacking the neck or not on the neck, but it actually is.
Yeah.
So like, and somebody who was fighting regularly for years might be able to make that differentiation. This is just an example. It's not a smoking gun or anything.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, bald shiny head. It kind of explain. So like that kind of stuff, or when somebody's like striking towards the back, right? Maybe they see a weapon coming down vertically and think, "Oh, vertical stuff, that's hitting the spine, that's hitting the back of the neck. That's not allowed." When really they hit the shoulder blade. Like somebody who has a lot of fighting experience is probably going to be able to tell based on the reaction of the fighter where they hit.
They got bopped.
Don't see specifically the spot. And all they see is the weapon coming down, but they see the guy, his shoulder like moves or he doesn't like drop right away. Because if you get fined, you go down. You're dead.
You're 100% right.
You're down, right?
The part that gets contentious is when they start determining what kind of card to apply, right? So in the case of a violation, marshals tend to have two options, right? Outside of a verbal warning. They have option 1, which is a yellow card, and option 2, which is a red card. So a yellow card is like a penalty. Very often fighters get sat and get given a yellow card at the same time. unless it's like a violation that's seen after the fact, which can sometimes lead to an appeal because there was something that illegal that happened that can lead to an appeal, a do-over of that part of the match.
100%,
And we all know that 2 yellows equals a red, just like in everything where you get yellows and reds, 2 yellows equals a red. Definitely, like the choice of when to apply a card can be something that's really tough on marshals in general, because I know, just like we said at the beginning, that they're cognizant that every action they take, every word they utter to fighters, everything they do has like rippling effects on the results of the match. So even giving somebody a verbal warning can make somebody completely disengage mid-fight, and that can swing the momentum of a grapple, right? Just because of how an individual fighter could react. Downing somebody because of a violation can swing the results of a match. So I know that they know they have to be really careful when they make a call, and they have to be confident in the call that they're making, because it can have impacts not only on other people's safety, because if you give a team numerical superiority, somebody can get hurt, right? Because now you get the two-handed guy going free, murdering everybody, and that you can inadvertently be responsible, right, as a result of your call for somebody else getting hurt. That's like a way that you kind of got to look at it when you're a ref, because you still are part of the action. Your actions have an effect on the things that come next. Where it gets contentious is, how yellow and red can be applied as a judgment call based on the individual fighter who was the subject of the infraction, right?
So the way it's interpreted now is a red card will be given in the event of an illegal action that produces an injury. And I don't like that.
Same.
I think that if it's an illegal action, if it's bad enough, it shouldn't have to produce an injury. It should just be a red card. If it's a red card when it creates an injury, it should be a red card when it doesn't create an injury. Now, at the same time, okay, so what use is a yellow card then? Okay, well,
I got a point for
we
this.
we have to have specific guidance for what violation is a yellow card and what violation is a red card.
I came ready for this. So outside of the story I wanted to discuss, which happened to me at Carnage, which you and many other people are really aware of because it's also on video and shit. One thing I've been thinking about yellow cards for a while is that going back to the old HMB days, old HMB and IMCF days, there was a saying going around, right? And it's like deep grapevine cut. I don't know how this is, if this is still said in like newer circles, because it's kind of like a dirty thing, right? But it used to go around that everybody has a free yellow, right? Because if 2 yellows equals a red, and a yellow at most equals you getting sat, right? And most fighters, even when being the subject of an infraction because of adrenaline and fighter mentality and the investment in traveling, people are very unlikely to drop. People will die out there. And we see that in UFC. We see that in amateur MMA. We see that in boxing. We see that in wrestling. Like, I've seen people get completely busted up and then being like, nothing will stop them from fighting. I'm like that. If I'm at a tournament that I fly to, and I get hurt, which I did, I'm going to continue, even though it's going to affect my performance, because my team is also counting on me. And me dropping, even as a result of injury, okay, it's going to hurt to keep moving around, but I can keep moving around even somewhat. Just my presence is going to help. But if I drop entirely, my team's down a whole nother guy. That's like a big deal. And then that's my trip and my investment as well, So it's hard to ask a fighter to make that call in the moment. Like, are you too injured to continue? Like, I'm a fighter.
Remember the IQ level of the average Boo fighter is pretty low.
Well, you're in shock too.
Perfect example of that is right here, guys.
But you're in shock too, right? You're like, you just got hurt and you're pissed off and you're in mid-fight mode. You're full of adrenaline. Like, you don't want to quit. It shouldn't be you making that call. I think it should be 100%. Your team captain that has to make that call. It can't be the person who gets injured. It's got to be like just like it has to be a doctor call in the UFC, because the fighters will never make that call. You're never going to take it. Like, if I can keep going, even if I'm limping, it sounds stupid, but I'm going to keep going. My team expects that of me. Yeah. That's the deal we all made when we flew down here, So
I think it should not be a team captain call either, because most team captains are like, get back in there. You're not hurt. Meanwhile, your arm's off.
I mean, you
right?
should have a good
Like,
team. Your team captain should have the safety and well-being of the
well,
team at heart more than the individual
the team,
fighters have for themselves in the moment. That's part of the team captain
I
responsibility.
agree, but we're all human. We're all human. Now, I will say, Kat has told me to sit down a couple times.
There you go.
He was like, "No, you took a hard one there. You sit down for a couple rounds."
I don't think
Okay.
Josh would have anybody go out when they're destroyed. When Kirk got his knee subluxated in one of the fights we were in, Kirk couldn't fight anymore, right? So
We've also both seen fighters go out there when they shouldn't have, and their captains kind of pushing them into it. We've seen this. Not calling anybody out.
but it's
Right?
like
Not calling anybody out. Very shiny person. Very, very, very shiny.
very shiny person.
They're so shiny.
Yeah.
So shiny.
But it's like but you can't the thing is like you're in shock and you're full of adrenaline and you're like, my whole trip's on the line, my team's on the line, everyone's focused on me. You're like, you don't want to bail. And it's like, you also don't want to be like, I don't want to take this other guy's tournament. You don't want to be that guy. And it's like in your second or third match in tier 1, we were doing 8 matches in a day. It happens to me in my third match where I get hit in the back of the knee, right? With a strike I never should have gotten hit by, right? You get hit straight in the back of the knee and you're like, okay, well, I'm wrecked. I was wrecked for the rest of the tournament. Like, I'm still walking with that injury and the injury I took in a later fight where I got push kicked to the knee a couple times, the other knee. So it's like my knees took a big beating at Carnage. It's like,
you're just beat up.
Yeah, well, my knees in particular. I'm not complaining about any of the shots I took anywhere else. When I'm being held by a 400-pound dude and getting halberted in the back, right? I'm not complaining about the shots that I got hit in the back with before I got hit in the back of the knee. The shot that got hit in the back of the knee, that shit could change your life, dude. Right? And it's like, especially
like if you get the what is the artery that runs down there severed, you could lose that leg.
Your tendons could get severed. You could just walk around with persistent chronic pain for the rest of your life because we're all getting older and shit. And you could then, am I going to drop and then I get this guy kicked out of the rest of the tournament, and then my team is down a guy and their team is down a guy, and then it's like this huge point of drama, and then I'm going to get accused of being a sore loser, and I could still get accused of being a sore loser online by saying something about it, right? But it's not about losing. I don't care about losing. I care about the fact that I got to play with my kids or my stepkid, and my knees hurt because of shit that shouldn't have happened, right? And it's like when you operate, especially at a high level, the expectation that fighters who are champion level fighters on the best team in the world, right, or have fighters on them who are some of the best, most well-renowned fighters in the world as their captains, right? The expectation should be that we can follow the rules and we can be deliberate in what we do. And the amount of flagrant rules violations we saw in Tier 1 at Carnage, to me, was absolutely unacceptable. And to tell me that every single one was like, oh my God, an accident, number one, like, it takes away from the skill levels of all of the fighters there. And number two, it's like, regardless of what the intent was, the persistent pain now a month and a half down is something that I'm still living with, and that people like Patrick are still living with, that people like Johnny could still be living with, people who got hurt by things that, there was no reason getting hurt by, Kirk, my buddy Kirk.
I'm not going to specifically call anybody out because I'm retired now, so I can't.
It's not about a specific call out.
I'm not going to be defending my words with my fists anymore, unless somebody calls me a PAB, and then I will. But there were some pretty flagrant rules violations, and I don't like it. And I don't want to say if I were the ref, I would do this, but if I were the ref, I would like to think that I would give a red card for that, regardless of whether the person is injured from it or not.
That's kind of what I'm saying, is that the yellow card isn't severe enough, and the red card is like you're kicked out of the whole tournament. So like maybe yellow card should be 2 minutes in the penalty box. Like maybe your team is 4-on-5 the next round. Like you get a yellow card and you're out the next round is massive, right? Just like the discussion about eye pokes in the UFC, how there's this proposition to like remove part of a fighter's pay, part of their purse for an eye poke. And it's like, I'm pretty sure
immediately take away a point. And if they do it again,
Well, you'll see them
Keep
disappear. If you hit them in the wallet, you'll see them disappear. If you see, people get put in the penalty box, you're out the next round, right? That can make or break a fight. You breaking the rules can make or break the fight. And now people aren't going to play with combos that can fall into the back of the knee when they throw, or they're not going to play with throws that specifically do, or positions that specifically cause hyperextension. They're not just like we see now, because when it's very, very obvious, you don't break those rules. But the more that you can bleed into this territory of but he can still continue, therefore the rules violation is not as bad because he's not crippled, he's not maimed for potentially the rest of his life. Therefore, you're good. So, because in the current iteration,
here's one.
A yellow card's a free pass to do one illegal thing per tournament.
Instead of a penalty box, how about we just tape their legs together? Make them fight with their legs taped together.
You have to take my serious, well thought out point and just make me sound atrocious. I'm not making you sound atrocious. I was flapping, right? And you just took all my sails were up, and you just took all the wind away. And now I just gotta bust out. I gotta bust out the oars and start a paddling, bro.
Could you imagine? He comes out for the next round. He has to freaking hop on his two legs that are taped together. He's gonna hop around trying to fight.
Bro.
How fun! How embarrassing would that be for them?
Absolutely, absolutely ridiculous.
But in all seriousness, I agree with you. We have to figure out a better way of doing this, because the whole yellow card not injured, red card injured thing just isn't working.
Well,
my daughter's will. Love you, sweetheart.
That's being a good father right there. Good job.
Yeah.
I told mine to stay away, or I will destroy them. No.
I gotta go in a couple minutes and go give her a kiss goodnight and everything.
No, we're pretty much done anyway.
Yeah. I think we're pretty much done except for one thing.
We got two things left. We got. What's this, Josh? Why don't you tell everyone what this is?
Oh no. It's my book you can find on Amazon. It's a 3-part series currently.
And it's on Amazon? Yes. There's a 3-part series?
On Amazon. It's a 3-part series.
What's it called?
The Heartscale Chronicles. Oh. The first book is Heartbound, and it's a lit RPG.
Wow.
Yay. And look at the awesome artwork for the 8'4" barbarian.
I believe the description, the link was in our description. It'll be in the description of this video as well. So be sure to go check out Josh's book, Hardbound, on Amazon. And I think it's on Kindle.
It's on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited, yes.
Okay. Kindle Unlimited, bro.
Yes, the unlimited version of Kindle, which costs $11.99 a month to read as many books as you can for free.
So the last item on our list for today is now to go over this tier list that we made. So let's just run through it real quick, and then we'll call it a day. So S tier. So we'll start from S tier, or you want to start from F and go up to S?
Let's start at F and go up to S.
All right, so F tier, right? We had 5.1 that was unlisted techniques. That was all the stuff that wasn't included in the authorized techniques.
Right.
And then
it's completely unnecessary.
And then we had 5.4 actions with foot, shin, and knee, which could have just gotten rolled into the whole offensive actions against prohibited.
Why is that even there?
Right?
It's ridiculous.
Then we have E tier with 5.10, which was intentional passivity, which both you and I just hate. Right?
Yeah,
just unnecessary. We have D tier, which was 5.5 grappling and holds, which was the whole the grappling the pauldrons and stuff, which is a necessary rule, but what? We have C tier with 5.8 specific strikes. So that was the no striking with hammerheads and the no punching with the one-handed axe. We have B tier with 5.3 offensive actions at prohibited strike zones, because for all the reasons we discussed. A tier was the penalty is imposed regardless of the fighter's intent. Our honorable mention at A tier. 5.9, which was dangerous takedowns, so suplexes and arch throw variants. 5.11, which was joint locks and hyperextensions. And 5.15, which was weapon loss, because you can take their stuff.
Right,
and then
you can take their stuff, which is awesome. I am so taking. if I was not retired,
you're coming back. You're coming back.
Yeah, I would just hand my weapon into my other hand, take theirs, and then have two weapons and run around like this.
He's coming back. The S tier. Let's go for our S tier, our big winners. So 5.2 thrusting actions, because thrusting is a no-no. right? 5.6
No
armor
trusting.
tampering. Don't take people's shit off. 5.7 suffocation.
We don't strip people.
We don't suffocate people
We
either.
we don't do a rear naked choke, and we don't bring our elbows together on it.
5.12 striking grounded opponents, 5.13 injuring competitors, and 5.14 uncontrolled strikes. And that brings episode 2 of Middle-Aged Men Yell at Clouds to a close. So
Clouds, what do you even do?
Once again, be sure to check out Josh's book, Heartbound, and the 3-part trilogy, Heartscale Chronicles, available on Amazon Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. Be sure to check him out at youtube.com/Josh Kearney and youtube.com/Ironhide Academy. And be sure to follow me at youtube.com/Bear Blackspear. And we will catch you guys next time. Have a great one, and peace out.